Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Number one commentary channel on YouTube for a second live stream today, guys. And to be quite honest, before this Saturday, I thought to myself, man, the news is going to be dry. There's not going to be much to cover after UFC 297, depending on the winner. But if Dricus wins, probably not so much news. If Sean Strickland wins, then maybe perhaps we have more conversations. But nonetheless, if anything, there has been more news than ever. There has been so much that has transpired after the fight at UFC 297. Now, that's no thanks to Myra Bueno Silva and Raquel Pennington, but it is thanks to, I guess you could say, Sean Strickland, Dricus, and their potential opponents for the future. And I think the first thing that we got to think of is what's going on Twitter. Let's bring it up. Let's talk about it, guys. Listen, Strickland, after the fight, he was gracious. He was thankful of how the fight went. You know, he thought he won, but anyways, he said, you know what? It's all right. On to the next one, right? Paraphrasing a bit. But instead, not too long afterwards, he comes out with a tweet. Let me see if I could zoom in a bit to make it easier for you guys to see. Strickland makes another post and he goes, I didn't take the cowards out. I didn't take the coward's way out and tell the doctor I couldn't see and got a no contest. The only reason, so maybe perhaps excuses. The only reason why you took a round from me is because I couldn't see. I won that fight. The world knows I won that fight. Where granted, you know, there has been a lot of conversation about who won this fight. But Strickland says, I won this fight. The belt they gave you will never make you a champion. Enjoy. So it seems as though, at least now, he's had a change of heart. And then he goes, they had to stitch through muscle to get it closed. Thank you to everyone. Your support has really kept my head up high through all this. Grateful forever. And then Dricus with a low blow. What does he say? That I know my face is covering it quite a bit, which is probably annoying, and I apologize in advance. Dricus says, why don't you cry about it again? Dricus is a monster. Dricus has at least any public back and forth trash talking. I've seen Dricus get the better of his opponents. Let me see if I can make let's make another a night poll this time. Who really won? And then let's type in Sean Strickland or Dricus Du Plessis. Dricus seems like a nice guy when he's in the press conference and interviews, but anytime he has a back and forth with a fighter, he has been pretty devastating, I guess you could say, or just been saying the wildest things. Now let's see what the comment section says. He didn't lose a fight. He clearly won with 3-2. I had it 2, 3, and 4 for Dricus. Personally, that's the way I had it. So I don't know how you guys had it, but I had it 3 rounds to 2 for Dricus. Maybe perhaps one of you guys could sway me, but I had it 3 rounds to 2 for Dricus. Relax, bro. He won that fight. You should have. Calling a former champ a loser, kind of wild, not gonna lie, because the post made was from a random stranger on Twitter. But a lot of people again are having Sean Strickland as the winner of UFC 297. And when you look at the tail of the tape, right? When you look at the numbers between Sean Strickland and Dricus that we talked about a little bit earlier in the morning, they were pretty damn close. These are the numbers. The red and the blue, red being Sean Strickland, blue being Dricus. And the significant strikes per round, I know this isn't a fair way to estimate things, but if you just look at the significant strikes per round, it almost seems like they're mostly all for Strickland in the lead. And numbers could be deceptive. If you guys look at TJ Dillashaw versus Corey Sandhagen, that'll tell you all you need to know. Where they gave TJ Dillashaw the win, but anyways, Is it the 2 minutes and 8 seconds of ground control time in Dricus' favor that helped him get the win? Is it were the strikes more significant? Was it the blood in Strickland's eyes? Although when I looked at Dricus' face afterwards, if you look at the tail of the face, I've been saying as of recent, I came up with that earlier today instead of tail of the tape, but tail of the face. This guy's face is way more beat up than his opponent. And now we know that Sean Strickland's cut. Let me see if I can find a better picture. I mean, look at this guy's face. This guy looked like he was in a war. Or Strickland, I guess you could say the same thing. But if you look at, let me see if I find it. If you look at what happened, it was due to a accidental. And it happened right there. When he was coming up, after the takedown, it was right. Trying to drive forward, trying to get the takedown. It was right there that caused the cut and caused Strickland to say, the only reason why you took a round from me is because I couldn't see. And even then, Sean Strickland looked pretty damn good in the fight. Not only good, I mean, some felt that maybe the Adesanya win for Sean Strickland was a bit of a fluke win, and maybe Adesanya wasn't focused, maybe Adesanya wasn't ready. But nonetheless, you look at Dricus, you look at Strickland. Strickland looked quite well against Dricus as well too, who also has an awkward style. Both have an awkward style, but Strickland with that jab, at least in the first round, and I think the numbers reflected as well too. In the first round, 34 out of 75 for Sean Strickland, 18 of 51. Strickland landing way more, significantly threw a bit more as well too, almost 24 more significant strikes. But that jab that he kept sticking him with was a thing of beauty. We got to give Strickland his credit. At one point, I thought, listen, you know what? It was just great timing for him to get the title. Maybe Adesanya wasn't necessarily ready. Maybe it was the drinking that he was doing prior. You saw he got a couple DUIs. But you look at the rankings, you look at Sean Strickland, they got to update it where now Dricus is the champion. But I guess when we talk about potential matchups for Sean Strickland, when we talk about potential matchups for Dricus, we could have a little fun. And I've said this before. Maybe you guys could agree with me or not. If you guys do, you guys let me know or disagree. Or if you have a better suggestion, let me know in the chat. But Strickland, I would personally like to see him fight. If I had one name that I can pick, is this guy right here. This is the guy that I would like to see Strickland fight next. I wouldn't be mad if they do Strickland versus Adesanya rematch. And even I would even take it a step further. I would say Strickland deserves the rematch. And if the UFC is willing to do the rematch between him and Dricus, they should do it. Because it was a close fight, split decision. 2 judges to 1, 48-47. So one judge scores in one round a different way, and Strickland is still. So, but personally for me, this is the guy that I would like to see Strickland fight next. Hamza Chimaev. Windy City says Strickland won. Takedowns that amount to nothing. I mean, he had 2 minutes and 8 seconds of ground control time, but that's a fair point. When he got the takedown, he really, if you rewatch the fight, not much was done down there. Sean Strickland is actually pretty excellent at getting back up to his feet, and holding him down is near impossible. Strickland versus Bobby Green. I need to find that clip. I saw the clip of Bobby Green talking about Strickland and how he fights like can't say the word, but I saw the clip and it was quite entertaining, I will admit. Strickland looked quite good in the fight against Dricus, and although he lost, you can argue that he won in the heart of fans because most are saying what you're saying, Wendy. Wendy says Strickland won takedowns that amount to nothing. Most people agree with you. I would say the majority believes that Sean Strickland really won that fight instead of Dricus. But this is the next person I would like to see if he doesn't get the title shot, if he doesn't get the rematch. Oh, you're talking about Bobby Knuckles. Strickland versus Bobby Knuckles? Look, listen, Robert Whittaker lost to Dricus in his last fight. Granted, he got knocked out. But besides the Dricus loss, speaking of Robert Whittaker, He's been on a tear, and besides Adesanya, like the man only loses to Adesanya, and now you can add Dricus is the only recent loss that he has on his record, the only blemishes. But besides that, the man has been on a tear. Now his chin is a little bit questionable. Damn, nobody has really mentioned Robert Whittaker like yourself, Wendy. But if Whittaker fights Sean Strickland and Strickland starts sticking him with that jab, I don't. Damn, it's sad because there was one point where I'm thinking nobody beats Sean Strickland at middleweight if it's not Adesanya, and now I feel like maybe other fighters have a chance. Maybe fighters that could beat him are Strickland. Drake has already beat him in Adesanya, so there's 3 in his own respective division that potentially beat him. I had it 3 rounds to 2. Maybe we do like a live watch on like Twitch one of these days, but maybe we give it some time to breathe. But it was a close fight, and most people feel the way that Wendy feels as far as winning that fight. Most people felt that he really won. And now we get some updated news of Dricus and let me make sure I have everything on mute because I don't. Yeah, we have updated news on Dricus and Sean Strickland going at it online. I wouldn't be too mad if they do the rematch, and I don't know if fans should be. I don't know if fans should be, you know, parading or what's the word? I don't know if fans should be claiming or asking for this rematch, but that could potentially be the case. That might be the way they have to go because, again, right now, we were talking about a little bit earlier, right now, you can argue that Sean Strickland is the biggest star in the UFC. Now, I'm a little bit scared of, okay, let's see. Spoke is my Rampage Jackson. Oh, my God. I don't know if I want to talk about this at the moment. That's a Rampage Jackson has spoken. Do we talk about this real quick? A clip sent by Hito. What's up, Hito? Welcome to the stream. Hollywood in the building. Let's play it. Let's just see what he has to say real quick. Before we talk more fighting, let's talk about, I guess, Flat Earth.
You know the one thing about Flat Earth that does trip me out? Google images of satellites. They're just all...
There's no real pictures?
They're all
graphics?
Yeah, dude. Not a single one is not. This is the one thing that tripped me out, I'm not going to lie. They're all just like renders. I've never seen a satellite that was real.
Can I watch this on YouTube? It's on World Star, so I think I'm okay, right? Are we good with this? You guys let me know. Maybe we should do a night that people from chat just send us random clips and we react to them because this is a little fun. But let's see.
Just saying, I'm not a Flat Earther.
We'll talk some more Sean Strickland and Dricus in a second.
Yeah, that is very strange now that you bring that up. Why would they want to sell us on Earth being round?
That's not the only thing they're selling you on. They're selling you on space as well, because you're thinking outer space and all those other planets and stuff
are real?
like that. Yeah, huh?
You don't think they're real? You don't think sun's real?
No. Sun is real. The sun and the moon is real.
Okay.
But outer space is not.
Yeah, because we haven't seen. Then what is it? What are we doing?
It's water over the firmament. Is water.
Over the firmament, he's talking.
We're in the ocean right now.
We under the firmament, under the dome, and it's water over the firmament. It says it in the Bible. The outer space is there's no such thing.
There's no such thing as outer space.
No, and that's the whole.
The firmament. That's a word that's in the Bible. Let's see what else.
Thing that got you tricked and why you think the other planets and stuff. The planets are wandering stars that you think about.
So you think all that, like them going to Mars stuff, is all?
How they going to the Mars? Why they don't put the same rover on the moon so we can watch the Earth spin right now? How they gonna go to Mars?
We're talking about building a society on Mars, right?
Yeah. Why they doing that? Why they ain't got the same thing on the moon right now though?
Yeah.
How they gonna go to Mars?
I think the whole thing is like we never went back to the moon, right?
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's another topic of discussion as well too. Whether we actually landed on the moon. That's man. Do we make this a conspiracy theory? Monday night that we talk a bit. I don't know if we're gonna have Trey calling in. I know he's not gonna show up for the whole show. But I will be accepting some live callers, right? I'm gonna go in the voice chat. If you do want to talk, make sure you jump in general, and then I'll drag you to sub chat and we can have a back and forth. If you want to talk about Sean Strickland versus Dricus Du Plessis, feel free to jump in Discord. I'll put the link in the chat. What did I miss? What's up, Eddie Rodriguez? Welcome to the stream. Always coming through. Listen, Eddie, you've been rocking out with us for a minute, man. So appreciate you coming through every stream. We might have to hand you a wrench one of these days. Let's talk about the aftermath. Chris Faith, what do you have to say, sir? Because there's plenty to talk about. But as far as aftermath, what I first brought up was the tweet that I was talking about a second ago. And it was that Strickland, after, a few hours of getting some rest and hanging out, he has a change of tune. Because at first it was, right, I got like 1,000 Twitter tabs open. That's crazy that I got Taylor. What the heck is happening there? Let's see. Sean Strickland. Look at the change of tune from Sean Strickland from before to afterwards. And where was it? Let me see if I can find the tweet. It's a little bit too zoomed in. Where is it? Okay. Here it is. Man, that headbutt really made it difficult to see, but I thought we got the job done. He was humble about it at first, right? He was humble about it, saying, you know what? I thought I won, but, no big deal. Blood and all, on to the next one, right? Thanks, everyone who supported me. But now, the tune is a bit different. Where's the, did I lose it? Oh, here it is. The tune is a bit different. Now he's saying, the only reason why you took a round from me is because I couldn't see I won that fight. The world knows I won that fight. The belt they gave you will never make you a champion. Enjoy. So now Strickland feels he never really lost. And we have someone in general that wants to talk about it. Let me drag him in a second. I promised I was going to go to Discord in a second. So you probably only wasted like a minute or two. But we have Hito on the line. Yo.
Yep.
If you hear me, now I hear you.
Yeah. Why am I not on speaker? Oh, whatever. What?
Yo.
Yeah. Hold up. Give me a second.
I'll catch you with chat in a second.
Yo, can I leave and you let me back in? It's not on speaker for some reason.
Yes. I think I could just drag you out. And then I'll drag him in a second. In the meantime, let me catch up. I'm a flat Arthur. Listen, I don't know what I am. I'll be honest. Is it bad to be on the fence? I really don't. I would say I don't know, Wendy. I'm not sure. Let me drag Hito back in. Yo. Yeah, I hear you well. Chris, I see that you're in a channel. Stay there for a second, and I'll make sure I'll drag you in a second. First, let me talk to Hito. What's up, Hito?
Yo, well, who would have guessed that Strickland and DDP, this match that everybody was overlooking, has just been the gift that has been keep on giving. Like, I don't think I haven't had a pay-per-view in a minute that just had nothing but headline after headline after headline afterwards.
100% agree. Remember we talked about it where we thought, man, after 297, there's not going to be really much to talk about. Now there's too much to talk about. There's plenty.
So yeah, so we got Alex Pereira talking about going back down, and fighting one more time in middleweight for the belt. You got DDP saying, "Hey, I want to do that." That could be a potential 300 matchup right there. Would be insane. You got Sean. What's next for Sean? You got a Kamzat. You got even like an Ian Gary out there calling him out. I mean, that could potentially be a UFC 300, which would be insane. And those aren't even the main events, and that would turn up the card that much higher. I think 297, we slept on it a little bit too much, and it just hit us right in the face with a bunch of headlines. And I think all of it has to do with Sean Strickland.
Let me ask you a question, because I just thought about this as you spoke. Sean Strickland, if he's on UFC 300, let me ask you this. Is he a big enough name at this point where he has to be a co-main, or can it be under that?
100% a co-main. Literally, who's bigger than Sean Strickland right now?
That's the question that I was asking earlier in the morning. I don't know who you can say besides an inactive Conor McGregor.
And before I get the hate, I'm not talking about talent. I'm not talking about
right.
fighting. I'm Hollywood. Who is a bigger star right now than Sean Strickland? And who has the momentum to keep going? We're heading into politics season. This guy's going to be cooking for a minute now. You know what I mean? I think he's the biggest star in the UFC right now. I think he was the biggest star before the fight, and I think after the fight, especially with a lot of people and ending in controversy, served him well. I mean, he took an L, but he still got a W.
Now, hindsight is 2020. Do you think the UFC made a mistake on not stacking that card for Sean Strickland, or at this point he's so big as far as popularity that it doesn't matter?
Couldn't tell until the LGBTQ thing happened. And then I'm not even trying to be a joke about this. Like that incident right there. There's an article on Forbes that highlighted that like the pay-per-view like pre-buys went up 25% after that incident. So there's really
Wow.
there's no real way of predicting it until like he just started going off the cuff. They gave him the microphone for too long, and then a star was born.
That's insane, man. I mean, any last words for Sean Strickland? We got another person waiting. If you want to come back in here, feel free. We got the infamous People's Champ, but yeah, Sean Strickland. You think he'll make it to 300?
I hope so. I think he got a headbutt. That's the only thing he got hurt. I don't know if DDP can make it, but Sean's fine.
The stitching was a little bad, but he should be recovered by April. Now Dricus' face looks. He might need like half a year in order to fully recover.
Crazy. But yeah, before I go, no, we didn't land on the moon. It was a hoax to make Russia bankrupt themselves. We never landed on the moon. It was all fake. They made a phone call to Ronald Reagan on a landline. How did Neil Armstrong from the moon call him on landline? Makes no sense. Later.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Hito, Hollywood Hito. Listen, I want to get more into conspiracies because I don't know if we actually landed on the moon, and I don't know if the Earth is round. But anyways, that might be a conversation for another day. Let me catch up with chat. Then we're gonna drag Chris Faith in here. They said the technology will destroy to get us back to the moon, which is quite ironic, isn't it, Eddie? What kind of conspiracy theory video is this? Like space is fake. I don't get it. There's a lot to talk about, Chris. We're about to add you in this chat in a second. Sean versus Izzy and Sean versus Dricus rematch does numbers. Either one just need a good co-main. Need to be in Vegas. So let's add Chris Faith, the one that brings the heat. The people's champ is in the building. What's up, Chris Faith? Yo, yo, yo. If you hear me, I don't hear you. There we go. Now we hear you.
Hold up. Jeez, I have my volume up to the 100%. I still can't hear you.
Right now?
Hold on a second. Let me put on my headphone. Where the hell is my headphone?
Take your time, man.
Louise.
#1 commentary channel on YouTube. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up. Or
hold on a second. I'm trying to hear you, but like, I don't know. Like, it's like so low, your volume. Like, my volume's very high, honestly.
I hear you perfectly fine.
Hold on a second. I still can't hear you.
You could click on my name and then raise the volume bar up if you want to do so.
Where the hell is my beat phones? My head beat phones. Ah, there you are. Hold on a second.
You're good. You're good. Good. Chris is having some technical difficulties with us as well
turn
too.
On your SOB. Turn on.
Take your time, Chris. The people need to hear from you.
Oh, now I can finally hear you. I just had to put my on.
There we go. What's up, Chris? Welcome to the stream.
Yeah. What's up, guys? What's up, Melody C?
Hanging out, man. It's good to hear from you. There's no Trey Mountain today, so maybe you'll have a better day than usual on Mondays. How do you feel about the aftermath between Sean Strickland and Dricus?
Corrupted judges, like always, and it's nothing new. I've seen corrupted judges over the years with Jones, with freaking Fury from boxing and stuff. It's just so annoying. And the fact that Shrek Milton is not, probably he's in the gym losing 350 pounds, which I don't give a shit.
Listen, he might be currently doing that as we speak. You might have a point. Sean Strickland versus Dricus. So you thought it was a clear win for Sean. I said Dricus won 3-2, but I thought it could have went either way. You're saying it was clear win for Sean?
I don't know if you remember a few months ago. This was like after Sean Strickland defeated Adesanya. I said this to you probably. I said it to someone else. I said, since he's the middleweight champion, I believe he's going to have a short reign. And honestly, my prediction, what I said before, came true. But the thing is, Sean Strickland, I'm not trying to say he sucked at the fight. No, he did good. But the fellow, if you saw his face, the only thing he had was just blood gushing him. But that was nothing. Look at the other guy's face. Look at Du Plessis' face. It looked like he was fighting, what's the name of that Super Mario villain, Browser?
Yeah. And that was the only cut that Sean Strickland had was from a headbutt, whereas Dricus' face was all like basically jabs and right hooks that were just landed on him all night.
Yeah, and I know people are saying what's next, but honestly, like I've been having so many fights on. I'm talking about Like the back and forth Instagram fights with these trollers saying, "Oh, they want to see Combs and Shemaya, bro." I'd rather see Adesanya versus Du Plessis. I want to see the middleweight
Mm.
grudge match of 2024. That's gonna be better. But I know guys like Shrek Mountains, they'll be like, "Oh, I don't want to see Adesanya. Adesanya sucks." Oh, guess what? Whether you like it or not, they're gonna put that. Like, why do we want to see Combs and Shemaya? First of all, Combs and Shemaya is not a 100% middleweight contender. He only defeated Usman because Usman made his debut. He didn't look Shemaev. He didn't beat a Whitaker. He didn't beat Cannonier. He didn't beat Costa, and most likely he didn't beat Strickland. Not even Mara Vittori.
I think the people hype him up because of how good he looked at 170. I don't think he's the same monster at 185. I'm not on the hype train that Khamzat Chimaev is going to run through the division and win the title. I don't think he'll ever even sniff the title.
Bro, he's only doing it for Dana White privilege, like DWP, Dana White privilege. I'm tired of Dana White privilege. So annoying. Oh, Colby Covington gets Dana White privilege, but he fell 3 times.
3 times to go for the title, and he failed. 2 to Usman, 1 to Leon Edwards. So you want Dricus to fight Adesanya. Now, if you had an option for who should fight Sean Strickland, give me 2 names.
Either Paulo Costa or Robert Whitaker, or get this: if one of them gets injured or balls out from sickness next month, then if Sean Strickland is 100% healthy or 90% healthy, he should jump in as the backup.
Who should jump in as a backup?
Sean Strickland.
Oh, so if it's Dricus and Adesanya, and if for some reason one of them back out, Sean Strickland should jump in.
Yeah, he should jump in because something tells me, I don't know. You want to know, son? Something tell me that Paulo Costa might just say, "Oh, the UFC didn't give me a contract." So I'm like, baloney. You didn't even fight 3. You failed to fight 3 times in 1 year, which was the year that already passed.
And missed weight.
Well, that was 2021.
Yeah, he's not the most reliable fighter. Speaking of Paulo Costa, how do you feel about Dricus and Sean Strickland if they were to run it back? Would you be okay with that option?
I don't mind, but knowing that if Sean Strickland loses, then, like, for example, I just say he gets knocked out. Like, for example, how we witnessed the rematch between Islam Makhachev and Volkanovski. Look
Right.
what happened.
Mm-hmm. And you think that could
Yeah,
happen
that.
with Dricus and Sean Strickland? No, I don't mind that at all. Look, I like Dricus and Adesanya. I like Sean Strickland versus Khamzat just because I know that'll sell well. Sean Strickland and Khamzat on 300. People will be hyped about it. I wouldn't be mad if they have a rematch as well too. Is there any other fighter that you saw at UFC 297 that caught your eye, whether it was like Evloev or Neil Magny?
That one,
come from behind to win?
Eloev and Neil Magny. It was those
Yeah.
2. Neil Magny, I see him fighting. Wait, what's the name of that welterweight guy? Oh, the one who ended Kevin Lee's career last year. I see him fighting that guy.
I remember he beat Daniel. Not someone he fought before. You're saying who he should fight next?
Yeah, the next one. I think it's his name is Renat. I can't pronounce his full name right. Like, he's Russian.
Right.
And
yeah, he just dominated Kevin Lee.
Yeah, and
Eloev
Eloev
as well too.
and Eloev, how you call it? He should fight the winner of Ortega versus Rodriguez, but I have a feeling like if one of them wins, one of them is not gonna fight Monsar. I'm like, bro, you guys are BSing. You guys are waiting for the winner of Volkanovski versus like that's BS. Like, and that's the thing I don't like about this. So I'm not gonna lie, the two featherweight fighters I do not like, and I honestly do not like them, are Brian Ortega and Yair Rodriguez. I honestly don't like that. I'm not saying they suck. They are good fighters, but they only want the title. Well, guess what? Ortega got his title 2 times. His title shot 2 times. He failed. And if he tries to get it for a 3rd time, he's going to fail. And if he fails for a 3rd time, he's going to be the 3rd fighter to fail a title. 3 title fights since Gustafsson and Covington.
I don't understand why Brian Ortega is still number 3 in the featherweight division. Like, the guy has
that guy.
I'm
sorry to bother you, but that guy should have been cut off of the rankings. This guy didn't even compete throughout 2023, and he's gonna compete only because if I beat Yair Rodriguez, then I go for the title. No. That's not how it works like that. You were out from an injury, and you're coming back saying, "Oh, I defeated Yair Rodriguez, so I get the title shot." No, that's BS.
And I don't even think Ortega's gonna come back and beat Yair. Anyways, if he's healthy and they fight, I still think that Yair Rodriguez is the better fighter. Quickly, let me ask you, since we have you on the phone and you're the people's champion, people like to hear from you. Speaking of Volkanovski and Topuria, who do you got winning that fight?
If it's Volkanovski, I'm not gonna lie. I know a lot of people are gonna be upset. I'll go over Topuria, but if Volkanovski wins, then I'll be like, oh hell yeah, then he's good. But if Volkanovski loses, I'm like, then he loses. What's his rank number in the pound for pound? Number 3, right?
I think he's like number 4 or 5 or something like that.
Yeah, then he loses that pound, and I'm like, oh no. But no, look, hear me out. If Topuria wins, I honestly do not see a rematch between Volkanovski happening, because I do see Holloway, but I don't know why Holloway gonna fight Justin Gaethje, which is the biggest mistake of his career.
I think it's that big of a deal. I'm surprised he accepted that fight. I'm a little worried for him as far as Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway. I think Gaethje just at 155 is just too strong, too good. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens within 3 months from now in April. Oh, I will watch that fight. No lie, I will watch that fight.
Yeah, even though it's one of those where like we feel bad for Holloway, we think he shouldn't have took that fight. We're all going to be watching. Any last thoughts, Chris Faith?
Let's see what the other guy Hollywood GT was talking about conspiracy. You know what conspiracy I believe?
Here we go.
I believe the only conspiracy I believe is that many sightings like Bigfoot stuff, I believe the government created them. And also Area 51 is not, they don't have spaceships. No, they have a gateway to hell. I think they have a gateway to hell in Area 51.
There you have it, guys. Chris, thank you for the call in. Everybody always appreciates you. They call you the people's champ for a reason. Thank you, Chris.
Hell yeah, I'm the people's champ, and screw you, Shrek Milton.
There you go, man. Chris Faith in the building, man. The myth, the legend. This guy always has a great call. Listen, let's make a new rule. Whoever calls in, or all you got to do is join the Discord and then join general chat. And if you want to talk live and talk about some fights that are currently happening, all you got to do is join general. I'll drag you in, we'll have a conversation. But I will add to that if you do join, give us one conspiracy that you guys like that we can talk about before you guys hang up. I saw you, Hito, in general, so I'm gonna add you right now. Just let me quickly catch up with chat. Dana White, privilege El Cucuy. Did he come up with that phrase? Because it has stuck. Just like oil him up, if you guys seen that lately. Yeah, I like Costa, but it's hard to defend him at this point. Absolutely. Yair takes a lot of damage. He does. He's very unorthodox in his striking style as well, too. So I think he's gonna give Ortega problems. Topuria's winning. Plugs, finally. I see what you did there. You had Volkanovski winning, but you come to your senses that every time you pick against me, you lose. Smart man. Max is probably getting a mean paycheck. Maybe that's what made him sign off. We have Hollywood Hito in the building. What's up, Hollywood?
Yo.
What's cracking?
So, just want to, honestly, I was listening to the People's Champ. First of all, I do want to say one thing. I do disagree one thing, and by no means I don't want no smoke. Respectfully, I ain't built like that. Respectfully, I disagree with Strickland going against Paulo Costa or Robert Whittaker next, just because I feel like he's too big for that. I think those guys you save for like a Bo Nickel coming up, or maybe like a Kamzat. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think Strickland's too big for them. I don't see the draw for Strickland per se. So, but I respectfully disagree with that, and then also respectfully I disagree with Topuria being Volk. Y'all, Volk's gonna
talk about it.
I just think like he took a last minute fight against the guy. Yeah, he got knocked out, but think about who he got knocked out. Like he's kind of right now like the GOAT of that division. So I just you take it that short notice. It happens, But let's not forget like Volk's still that guy. He had one bad fight and everybody's throwing him off. I disagree. I think Volk got the W.
You don't think his chin is maybe somewhat compromised? Or let me more so ask you this. Him losing in the way that he did to Makhachev doesn't concern you even a little bit?
Why didn't it concern you when Alex Pereira fought for the belt in his division after Izzy knocked him out?
Oh, no, I did talk about it. No, well, he went up in weight, right? He went to light heavyweight after losing to Adesanya middleweight.
I know that's fine, but like
Oh,
he still got knocked out. Nobody's concerned about him right now.
oh no, not anymore. But before he was coming back to fight Jan Blachowicz and Jiri Prohaska, I said his first fight back, I'm a little worried because when you get knocked out like that, we don't know how you're gonna come back. Granted, he is back to normal. Volkanovski could be back to normal as well too. So that's a good point. I just have a feeling. Listen, you got knocked out in that fashion, and you're fighting Topuria, who's been on a tear. Granted, Topuria hasn't beat anybody like Volkanovski. I just think he's a future.
I hear you, but I think Volk's still that guy. The one thing I will say that Chris, I'm sorry, the People's Champ brought up that was a great idea, and that's having like DDP and Izzy go, but Strickland as the backup. That's I think that's best case scenario right there. Is what you do.
You know what you can also do with that? You can add him to the press conference table just for just to sell the card a bit more. I don't know if they'll take it that far, but imagine.
For sure. Yeah, no. But think about this, man, because things are timing up. The middleweight division, just in the past year, you had Pereira beat Izzy. Then Izzy gets the crazy knockout win. Then Strickland take out Izzy. Then now DDP takes out Strickland, who's now going to probably retire Izzy. Middleweight's going great. And then hopefully with time, you have Khamzat coming up. As much as you don't like him, we want to see him fight.
Absolutely.
So you want to see Khamzat fight, and hopefully by then, Bo Nickel is starting to build his resume up to where he can get to like a Paulo Costa or Robert Whitaker for that title contention spot. So the middleweight division right now is kind of taking over. I mean, do you see another division? I mean, you have what is it, welterweight, right? That's kind of cool. And then you have Islam's division, but he's got that on lock. So the middleweight right now is kind of like what's really selling for the UFC. And
This uh-huh.
yeah, and just with Bo Nickel like working his way up, and hopefully the timing happens perfect to where when these guys start to fall off, Bo Nickel is right there to take the realm, and then it resets the whole middleweight division.
No, it's a good argument. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm like, man, this sneakily might be the best division in the UFC because we've had this conversation before. What's the best division? And the ones that were always mentioned was lightweight, welterweight, and bantamweight. But now middleweight, if anything, takes the top claim. Let me ask you this though. As far as divisions, maybe middleweight is top one. Are you not that high in the bantamweight division anymore? Because to me, I think the only division that might potentially be more interesting than the middleweight division is the bantamweight division.
All right, let me see real quick.
O'Malley, Sterling, Marab, Henry Cejudo, Corey Sandhagen, Marlon Vera, Piotr Jan. Just a couple names.
Yeah, no, it is, but you know what's the problem?
No.
The problem is if O'Malley loses, it's dead.
You think so?
Like, what if Marab becomes champion? Come on, man.
right. It is in danger. I guess it favors the UFC if Sean O'Malley keeps winning. I guess you can say that.
Because what if Cheeto wins? What happens? Cheeto's your champion? Dude, like, you know what I mean? Like they are hanging by a fine line, and it's also by a guy that can't sell pay-per-views. So like, what do we? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it took a hit after Sterling lost to Sean O'Malley. I mean, I like Corey Sandhagen, I like Cheeto Vera, I even like Piotr Jan, but you're right, those names aren't as big as the names in the lightweight division.
Cheeto Jan's a prelim fighter, man. You know what I mean?
Wow, the disrespect for Piotr Jan is crazy.
I'm talking literal. Is it not literal? Is he not fighting in a prelim?
That's crazy.
Is he not fighting in the Am I lying?
No, but damn, that's crazy. Mark is a white boy says, "Show us your feet." Sorry, I can't do that.
Wow.
There's some poll of fighters 35 and older who lose their belt will lose. Yeah, I think it's a very high percentage plugs. Volk takes Topuria to school in a 5-rounder. I don't know if it goes to the 5th round. Eddie Rodriguez agrees with you. Volk won the first fight with Islam. Roids from birth. Makhachev is crazy.
Let's talk about that right quick.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel like, there's no USADA, and all of a sudden, like, Islam is out with this mystery injury, but he's out there skiing in the slopes. Like, I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. A lot of people are saying that he might have failed a drug test. And, maybe this new company is not as vocal as USADA.
The whole steroid epidemic and the UFC is a little bit worrisome as far as what's going on. It's hard to say who's guilty, who's not. I mean, Sean Strickland out of nowhere got a 6-pack. You could say he could be on the juice.
I'll put it to you this way: it's a lot harder for American to pass,
Yeah.
it's a lot harder for American to get away with a piss test than a Russian. And I kind of did research into USADA and how it works. These guys, they have to document, like, all year around. You have to document where you're going to be at, and then you have to pick an hour for when a person can come out to you and test.
Yeah.
So, but you're in the bylaws of USADA, you're allowed 3 misses. So let's say they show up and you're not clean yet, you can kind of hide out like Pool of John Jones, right?
Right, hide under the cage.
You get 3 tries of missing before you get suspended. So when America is getting tested 2,500 times for the UFC and Russia only 200, I mean, the favor is for the Russians. You already have a way to sneak away with it. You have these times you're allowed to miss, and now you're only getting tested 200 times a year. I'm gonna go into the woods of Russia, tackle some fucking bears all day long, pop my steroids, flush it out my system, pee clean next day, the next day. And guess what? If I'm not clean and this guy's coming, I'm gonna hide out in the woods of Russia, and you ain't gonna get me. You're only coming here 200 times a year.
Yep, it just costs them so much money to be traveling, and the ratio of Americans getting tested as compared to Russia is just insane.
And everything I'm saying, I can, is verifiable. These are in the stats of how many times they go to these countries are in USADA's program. They release, like, they do like kind of like an annual review, and they release these numbers, and then in their bylaws, these times that you can miss, it's in their bylaws. So, I mean, I'm speaking factual, and it just seems kind of shady how Russia is not getting tested as much. And these guys, have you ever seen a picture of Islam's back when he's flexing up? That's kind of wild. Don't look natural to me.
We'll see if anything changes with the roids, and we talked about Sean Strickland, which is quite interesting. Like with Islam Makhachev, at least the chat agrees with you. Plug says Islam is on the juice, and we all know Islam is linked up to the higher ups. Eddie says none of these champs can cut a promo. If you were to give us, Hito, one more conspiracy theory, and I'm kind of scared asking you this, but if there's any other conspiracy theory that you want to share before we talk some more UFC, which one is it?
UFC or real life?
Real life.
Oh, Michelle Obama's a man. This is fact. It's not even conspiracy theory. This girl with a capital D.
Yo, this guy's wild. We might need a special episode to talk some more conspiracy theories, because in less than an hour, people that have called in have said that we've never landed on the moon, the earth is flat, and Michelle is a man.
She got shoulders like Brian Urlacher.
That's crazy. The Chicago, you basically called her a Chicago Bear. That's insane. XD Trips, welcome to the stream. Alex is hinting, breaking news, Ash Strickland moving down to 170. If he does go to 170, what do we get? Ian Gary?
Who? Alex who?
So, Alex is hinting at Strickland. So I guess Alex Pereira is hinting that Strickland is going to move down to 170. If that's the case?
Oh, I think Strickland would do it at a spite just to get at Ian Gary. I can see him doing it, and then that's the bag. Strickland. Let me tell you guys, this guy is smart, because he caught everybody knows he tripped up and caught a championship by accident. You know what I mean? Like, let's call it for what it is. He caught the UFC championship by accident. He wasn't even supposed to be there. DDP didn't make it. He got it by accident. He had no shot of it any other way, right? He gets the belt, and this guy ran with it, and he got all the headlines. And what do you do after taking an L like this? What's the next move? Oh, I'm going to move down and fight Ian Gary? What? That's crazy. That's smart. This guy's cashing out before he retires.
We've already talked about he's arguably the biggest name in the UFC. I mean, let's quickly go back to that before we talk about Ian Gary and Sean Strickland. Hollywood, is there any other name in the UFC right now that matches up with Sean Strickland, or do we just flat out say he's the biggest star in the UFC?
He is. I mean, I don't see another name, man. Oh.
I could give you some names that are potential.
Throw some names out. I'll tell you yes or no.
Islam Makhachev.
He won't be a bigger star. People won't know him as much as Sean Strickland. Sorry. Better fight it out.
The other Sean O'Malley.
No, he can't. He can't sell water to a fish. I don't know, man. Like.
Tim C. Hernandez in the chat as well too. What's up, Tim? Welcome to the stream.
You're in trouble.
You're the one that was talking crazy. He's the one that heard you calling Michelle a man. So if anything, it's gonna be an interesting group chat. All right. So Sean O'Malley, no. Islam Makhachev, no. Come on, man. We know the bigger star than Sean Strickland. This is easy. Leon Edwards.
The most fame that Leon Edwards got is getting beat up by Jorge Masvidal.
That's crazy. That's the disrespect.
And Colby Covington making fun of his dad. Those are the most headlines that Leon Edwards got.
The disrespect. Oh, all right. He might. All right. Leon is not a big star, but maybe we can argue some other time. Leon is the best fighter in the world right now. I would argue that. It's either him or Islam Makhachev, but to me, Leon is the best fighter. But anyways, Leon is not a bigger star. Alex Pereira isn't. John Jones is kind of
Alex Pereira with the haircut right now, and first of all, he's got the memes with the guns. Alex Pereira is trending a lot online. Alex Pereira might be a close second.
Don't sleep on him.
He's going crazy right now. He broke up with the girl. He grew the hair out
because he found out she was married, which is crazy.
All right, and not even that. They have videos of him sparring. Yo, anytime you see an Alex Pereira video sparring, it is like George Foreman hitting a heavy bag. It's like some of the stiffest stuff you ever see. Look at him right now. The guy is moving. He's looking a little fluid out there. Alex Pereira is getting headlines, and then he's got all the memes going right now.
And he probably will be on 300 as well too.
So don't sleep on Alex Pereira, man. He's kind of that guy right now.
Tim says, I'm the conspiracy theory king. Pick one and I'll go off. Wendy says, that was a joke, bro. He could be a problem at 170. Well, Wendy, he has fought at 170. That's the crazy thing. Remember, before going up to 185, he lost to Usman at 170, if I'm not mistaken, speaking of Sean Strickland. Ian Gary versus Strickland is not too far-fetched. Just throwing that out there. Dinosaurs are fake, says Eddie. Are they actually traveling to the mountains of Dagestan? They're not traveling out there like that. I'm reading backwards. Tarzan Strickland. Strickland looked exactly the same as usual in the fight. Just had one filtered pick with a pump and a flex. So there goes the defense of Sean Strickland. I guess it's safe to say Sean Strickland is the biggest star in the UFC. And I would personally, if I get one name that he fights next, is Khamzat Chimaev. If you get one name, Hollywood, that he fights next, what's the name you pick? Gun to your head.
Well, I can see, the money fight is Ian Gary, but I can see Khamzat Chimaev. And Khamzat Chimaev also, if he kind of gets a big win, he can be one of the biggest stars of UFC as well. And that's just how it is. That guy, he brings a different aspect. You know, obviously he's like the boogeyman a little bit, and you know he has the weird scar on his lip. He's kind of marketable. I mean, don't say that's what people keep talking about him. He's kind of doing bad right now with always trying to challenge everybody when he can't fight. But other than that, once he fights and he gets another W, he's a growing star as well.
You think he beats Strickland?
Yeah. I mean, Strickland said it himself. This guy would ragdoll him in training sessions. So
I would gladly take your money if that were the case, because Strickland dogs Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat Chimaev is not who you think he is at 185. No question.
Okay. And again, like I said, Strickland himself talked about Khamzat dogging him in training. So like that, this is coming out of Strickland's mouth. So I don't I don't know where you're getting this false hope.
I think the public rephrased what he said, and it wasn't necessarily that he dogged him. He just basically said, yeah, you know, he gave me a tough fight with the wrestling and stuff, but he never submitted him, I believe. And sparring and a fight is two very different things. Sean would beat that cuck, says Plugs. Khamzat lost his aura, says, yes, that's a perfect way to put it, Plugs.
He might have lost the aura, but the difference between Khamzat and DDP would do these takedowns and really not do much with it. I think Khamzat takedowns will be way more effective than DDP. And we really didn't see, how Strickland did on the ground against DDP. And I'm sure that there's credit to Strickland his takedown defense. But I think Khamzat has a way better takedown than DDP. So don't think you're going to sit there and have wild swings like DDP. He's going to take him down.
So you said that he has better takedowns, but maybe at 170, not at 185. He struggled against Kevin Holland, taking him down. Then at 185,
you ragdoll Kevin Holland.
And speaking of takedowns, against Gilbert Burns, he didn't really get anything. Against Usman, struggled to get any takedowns. He's not. And that's
ragdoll Usman in the first round. And when's the last time you saw somebody do that to Usman? Yeah, he gassed out. You're right. With that first round, he ragdolled Usman. Tell me the last time in a while you've seen somebody do that to Usman.
Usman was coming off the couch when that fight happened. Usman was coming off the couch. He wasn't ready.
But then you don't want to say the same excuse for Volk. You want to act like this guy is done and over with. But you're gonna give the same credit to Usman? I don't want to hear it. You got to pick a side, my guy.
but Volkanovski got knocked out cold. So that's the difference. That's why we don't know if he comes back the same. Usman with a proper training camp, 5-round fight, I think we could agree that he beats Hamza Chimaev. We'll never get that fight again, but I think we could agree on that.
No.
That's crazy. Last conspiracy. Maybe you could mention one that Tim could elaborate on. Last conspiracy before we add anyone else that might want to join.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
That's crazy. Thank you for the call in, Hollywood Heath. Appreciate it. Later. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another call. We got a few conspiracies today. We never landed on the moon. We got what was the other ones that we got? Epstein didn't kill himself. I just finished episode 2 of the Epstein documentary on Netflix. If anybody wants to join in and talk some fighting or conspiracies, because randomly that was a topic of discussion today, you could join Discord or you could call in at 267-545-8096. Let me actually make sure I have that open just in case anybody wants to call in. We've been live for about 50 minutes, so we've been live for some time, so we won't be live for much longer. Is there any other who really won? I guess most people are saying Sean Strickland. So the most boring co-main of all time. And then Sean Strickland basically saying that he never lost that fight, that if it wasn't for the headbutt, he would have won. So we kind of covered almost everything. Why do you say plugs? Leroy says MDC Army. Yo, what's up, Leroy? Welcome to the stream, man. So something that Plug said, I wanted to elaborate a little bit more. To something that Plug said, it was perfect. Hamza, that should be a tweet right there. Hamza lost his aura. I just want to quickly remind people that because the predictions we've been on. We were right about Leon being champion. I mean, hit the nail on the head on that one. I mean, Derek Lewis, since 2017, I've been saying he's going to have a fall from grace. Boom. Was correct again. This is another hot take that I'm going to be proven right. Maybe it could be a double-sided coin as far as 2 takes. We'll talk about Bo Nickel. We'll talk about Hamza. Anybody else that wants to join could join in Discord. Hamza is not a threat. And I would even say, let me quickly pull up the rankings. I would even say Hamza doesn't sniff. That might be a little bit of a reach. Top 5, maybe. Hamza will never be, and we could play this back, we could record it. Hamza will never be top 3 in the middleweight division. Do you guys agree or disagree? 267-545-8096 if you want to talk about that topic, or you could join Discord and we can have a chat. And I'm sure Beta could add any conspiracy if he wants to join in and have a chat. He says, damn, I missed the stream again. Beta, welcome to the stream. Thank you for always coming through. I was talking to the fam. How you guys doing out there in the cold? And he put it on Discord. Shame on you. It be your own. It be your own, Hollywood. Going back to Hamza, I would argue that before 2024 ends, Hamza will not be neither top 3 or top 5 in the middleweight division. You guys could agree or disagree. You guys could call in and talk about it. And another hot take of the same division, and Hollywood might be right about what he said about the middleweight division being the hottest in the UFC. The future of this division, guys, let me just throw this out there. That Strickland is having fun. Dricus is having fun. Adesanya. By the end of, because I don't think he's gonna get that quick of a shot. By the end of 2024, Bo Nickel will be in the top 15 rankings. By the end of 2025, he will either be top 5 or champion.
You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fingers.
If you guys agree, feel free to let me know in the chat or call in at 267-545-8096 if you want to disagree. Let's catch up with chat a bit. Chen Chicken. I think Hamza has that first round magic like McGregor. Round 1, he's a world killer. But if so are you saying if someone could weather the storm, get past round 1 and 2, then they'll be okay? Because if that's the case, if that's what you're saying, I would say I agree. Beta says, facts, Eddie. Maybe we could start another poll real quick. Hold on. Let me actually close this poll and start a new one. I would really like to get a general consensus of how you guys feel. But real quick, is Hamza Chimaev overhyped? And this will be probably one of the last subjects that we talk about today. I would love to see how you guys vote on this one as well. Facts Eddie, after that, he falls off. I agree, Eddie. Maybe he needs to find the same doctor as DDP. Bo is the future. Look at that poll. Which one? But wow, who really won? Sean Strickland or Dricus? 82% for Sean Strickland. Listen, I hate to be that guy. I hate to burst your guys' bubble. I know what's happening here. It's a lot of Republicans, a lot of, Sean Strickland fans in the chat. Listen, he lost that fight. He lost that fight. It was close. Clear 3-2 for Dricus Du Plessis. Rounds 2, 3, and 4 were clear rounds for Dricus. I know you guys are big Sean fans. Listen, it would have benefited my channel if Sean Strickland won because the views have been just great for the videos on YouTube. But I can't let that blind me from the fact that Dricus won that fight. Sean Strickland, and maybe that's Nixick's fault, Eric Nixick, and not being in his ear and saying, hey, you need to give me a little bit more. I know you're the champion, and I know the phrase that they say in order to be the champ, you have to beat the champ. But Sean Strickland was a little bit too passive for my liking. People have been too high on Strickland. Let's give a little bit of constructive criticism. Sean got cut with a headbutt. Agreed. It's true. He was a little bit too passive. He allows it to go to the judges a little too often. When he lost to Jared Cannonier, fight was close. He decided at the end of the 5th round to really press on the gas. He did the same thing against Dricus. He waited a little too long. I felt as though maybe Dricus was even fading a bit in the 5th round, and if Sean Strickland wanted to apply more pressure, he could have done it. So all this Strickland praise, I gotta bring you guys back down to earth. Yes, Strickland is good. Yes, he deserves to be in the top 5 of the middleweight division. Yes, he's potentially the biggest star in the UFC. But at the end of the day, Strickland lost that fight. We have a call
from
Hollywood Hito.
Yo.
You're wrong.
Hamza or Sean Strickland?
Sean, I think I picked DDP to win. Sean won that fight.
It was close.
Every round he outstruck, landed, and paced. Besides one round, he did more damage. So the damage test is clear as day. And not only that, the only damage Sean Strickland took was from a headbutt. And the takedown, DDP did nothing with. What are you selling right now that DDP won? And I'm a guy that picked DDP, by the way.
I'm a guy that picked DDP too. It's pretty simple. What we don't do as in order to judge fights, you don't look at both fighters and say, oh, that guy looked hurt more, therefore he lost. If that was the case, Nate Diaz lost every single fight that he was in. Of course, Dricus swelled up a bit more.
What about significant strikes? What about the strikes to the head?
Another good one. There were a good amount of power jabs. There wasn't really nothing behind Strickland's
power jabs.
Yeah, there were power jabs. That's all Strickland throws. I bet you out of all
they
those
were
significant strikes,
than the haymakers DDP was throwing because DDP did no damage with them. So what are you going to count there? DDP's throwing haymakers. You've got pillow fists. Sean was unbruised.
Sean had a back cut in his eye, but it was from a head. But I just think Dricus swells up pretty easily. I think that's really what it comes down to. Again, we see Nate Diaz. Even if you see the Corey Sandhagen, TJ Dillashaw fight, same thing. I'm trying to think of other fights where just fighters look bad.
You're not telling me what DDP did to win.
The significant strikes were pretty close. He had 2 minutes and 8 seconds of ground control time, and rounds 2, 3, and
nothing with it.
But still, at the end of the day, that plays in the minds of the judges. And at the same time, Sean Strickland wasn't as offensive enough. Let me bring up the stats real quick. Specifically, I had them up already, 2, 3, and 4. Because those are the rounds at question, right? Round 1, you could give it pretty clear for Sean Strickland. Round 5, you could give to Sean Strickland. Look at 2, 3, and 4. They're really close. And 2 of those rounds, Dricus outstruck him. Oh, I'm sorry. No. One of those rounds.
One round.
One round, Dricus outstruck him, but then you have ground control time in the other 2 rounds. I mean, it's pretty clear that Dricus won.
Can you tell me also, since you have it pulled up, and I don't have that luxury right now, the strikes that Dricus landed, where were they on the body?
I think they have head, body, and where is it? Do they have it here? Yes. Total strikes or because we
So
only
like
have.
you gotta look at it too.
Look at this. To the body, 32 of 37 significant strikes to the body for Dricus, 10 of 15 for Sean Strickland. Leg strikes, 24 of 34 for Dricus, 6 for 6 for Sean Strickland. A more complete body of work for Dricus.
The thing is, I would take headshots more than I would body shots if I'm a judge. If I'm landing way more headshots, I'm gonna take that over the body.
Just for reference, so who did you have winning between Lomachenko and Devin Haney?
Loma.
Okay, at least you're accurate, because that it was the same problem over there. Devin did a good body of work to the body. I had Loma winning, and it was head strikes. But the problem with the head strikes of Sean Strickland, again, they're mostly jabs. The guy has total punches to the head, 387 attempts, 157 landed. That guy pops out the jab a lot, but they're just fluky shots.
So think about this. So significant strikes: 137 of 408 to 130, 173 of 408 to 137 of 354. 24 of them are leg kicks. So if you take that down, you're at like 114 to 173. Like, it's insane. Like, Sean Strickland was far ahead. I'm taking headshots or even body shots over the leg shots. The math is just, and he's almost doubled him in punches because you got to take away the leg kick, and the leg kicks weren't even that serious. He was checking most of them. So whatever he was landing was minuscule. You got to, like, I'm a guy to do the math on things, and so I'm going to take away those leg kicks because they really meant nothing that whole fight. So if you really break it down in that aspect, because it would be one thing if it were power leg kicks and they really determined the fight. No, Strickland was eating those up, checking them all day long. So if you take away those actual punches to where something matters, the body and the head, Strickland destroys him almost by double.
So the more I look at this, the more I'm convinced that I'm correct. And the reason I say this is because now I'm looking again at significant strikes round 2, 3, and 4, right? Just let me quickly, you like numbers, right? Let me quickly give you a few numbers. Round number 2, right? 22 of 62 for Sean Strickland, 26 of 60 for Dricus. So Dricus has 4 more strikes, right? So let's just say he won round 2. Sean clearly won round 1, and Sean clearly won round 5. So let's leave it to round number 3 and 4. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay, if that is fair to say, significant strikes for Sean Strickland in round number 3 were 31 of 87. For Dricus was 29 of 84. So just a 2-strike difference. Just 2 strikes. So you add to that the takedown and the ground control time. I could see why they edge it for Dricus. And then round number 4, a 4-strike difference, which is not much. Again, it's just 4 significant strikes. But you have the ground control time, the takedown.
You didn't tell me what round that takedown happened.
I think he had a takedown in round 3 and round 4. The accumulated ground control time was 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Takedowns, Dricus got 6 of 11. So I'm pretty sure he got takedowns in both the 3rd and the 4th. Maybe someone could verify that in chat.
Takedowns were a breather. But also what about takedown defense then? Because he was half the attempts Strickland defended.
Dricus got 6 of 11. And that's better than, I mean, it sounds a little bit sarcastic. I don't mean it that way. That's better than 0 out of 0. But 2 minutes and 8 seconds of ground control time is a significant amount when the significant strikes are so close.
By the way, round 3, 0 at 0. He had 1 takedown. Round 4, 1 of 3. Come on, man. That's really nothing.
Let's see. I'm looking at it per round right now.
Sorry, that's punches in the clinch. My apologies. I read the wrong number there.
Okay.
They don't have the stats for the takedown.
No, I was looking for it as well.
Okay,
too.
no, I apologize. No, they do have the stats. They do have the stats. Round 3, he had 0 takedowns. Round 3, 0. Round 4, he had 3 of 5. So realistically,
round 4 he had 3 of 5. So is it down to round 3?
Round 3, 0. I give Strickland 3-2.
Okay, so if that's like, so all right, so because majority of the takedowns, right, were in round 4, is that what you're saying?
3 of 5, round 4.
Okay, so let's say we give that round clearly to
DDP,
Dricus, right? So round 3, look, I'll give you that. It's close, and maybe it's up to round 3 where it could either go either way. One judge had
so you're
it for,
a judge. You're looking at these numbers right now. Round 3 is clearly the deciding factor. 1 Strickland, 2 DDP.
And then 4 DDP, 5 clearly Strickland. What makes you say round 3 I'm going to give it to DDP? Because it wasn't the takedowns. There was nothing else besides significant strikes, and Sean wins. If you're a judge that had the benefit to look at the copy box stats right afterwards and say, oh, this is what happened round 3, why are you saying DDP won it?
Maybe perhaps the body of work. Listen, there was only 2 different significant strikes, right? But maybe, again, judges have styles that they like. Some are more favorited towards, the takedowns and the ground control time.
I didn't ask you what you said of the judges. I'm asking you, Miller.
No, but I'm saying that's probably what happened. If I'm watching it, again, when I watched it live, I gave it to Dricus. I like the complete body of work. He had 10 of 12 to the body. Strickland had 2 of 3. So we would have to watch round 3 again. But again, all the significant strikes were probably jabs to the head, where Dricus is landing 10 of 12 to the body, 13 of 64 to the head.
13 of 64 to the head, and he had 6 of 8 leg kicks, which the leg kicks are insignificant. He did nothing with them. Most of them get checked.
I don't know. 6 of 8 landed, so I don't know if they're
okay. And guess what? Did those leg kicks do really any damage? Are you going to say that a Sean Strickland jab was less weak than a DDP leg kick?
I would say
that's 6 significant strikes right there. I think I can eliminate, because what did he do to the legs? Nothing. Nothing stopped Strickland. He caught some cheap leg shots.
This sounds crazy. Hear me out. This sounds crazy. Dricus puts more behind the leg kick than Sean Strickland puts more behind the jab. Hear me out. Wait, and then also as well too.
There's no evidence of that. Did you watch the fight?
And then the 10 of 12 in round number 3 to the body. There were some beautiful shots to the body. I mean, like digging hooks instead of jabs from Strickland. Again, it was extremely close, and I think Sean Strickland dropped the ball.
I think I'm right here. I feel like I'm not seeing what the chat's saying, but they have to agree with me here.
Let's see what they say. Let's actually catch up, because there's been quite a few messages. Elites called Dana and told him to make the judges pick DDP, says Plugs. Head strikes count most. Everybody knows this. It depends on the judge, Tarzan Strickland. Sean really effed it up for fans, says Leroy. The rematch needs to happen. We need a more decisive win. I'm not mad at that. If there's a rematch, I would be cool with that. Leroy says, rolls his eyes. Tarzan says, good point. I'm not sure exactly who said that to. Sean beat up Dricus pretty good, says Real Eyes. He lost the optics battle of the ignorant, says Real Eyes. How you do overall on picks, MDC? I didn't do too bad. I got the Neil Magny fight wrong, but freaking Mike Malott wants to go for a guillotine at the end.
Eddie might be somewhere with this. Eddie, it says it would be dope if we could rewatch it in real time and score live. Yo, let's do a Twitch night, man.
That's what I'm saying. All right, so let's maybe shoot for like a Thursday or something, and let's do a Twitch. Yes, because we've done that. The same thing. Oh, so Hito, if this makes you feel a little better, I don't know. I think you were around at that time as well too. When Dillashaw fought Corey Sandhagen. On first watch, I had Dillashaw winning. I rewatched it on Twitch. I remember Beta being there. I changed my mind, and I said, you know what? Corey Sandhagen won that fight. Perhaps that happens for this fight, so we'll have to watch it. Big Vince, welcome to the stream, man. Leroy says, click. You know, it was close when we all saw the same fight, but scored it differently. It was extremely close. Extremely close fight. Any closing thoughts, Hito, on the matter? But we do have to watch it again.
Strickland was robbed. Let's rewatch it. I think we should also have a heavy focus on round 3. I think that's the deciding factor.
That's fair.
We'll see.
That's fair. Appreciate the call, broski, as always, man. Thank you. Hito with the call-ins today, going ham since we don't have Trey as the co-host today. But we had a good night. A lot of good conversations. And I think what this amounted to, in a sense, was we have to rewatch it. We have to rewatch round 3 and 4 and 2. I think those are the biggest ones. I think you could clearly give rounds 1 and 5 to Sean Strickland. Now 2, 3, and 4, I had it for Dricus. That's what we would have to determine. Big Vince in the building, always showing love, bro. What's up, man? Thank you guys for a fun night of talking fights. Every Monday we do a morning and a night podcast, and we've been pretty consistent with that as well too. So I appreciate the ongoing support a ton. If I could request one last favor for you guys, and I kind of do this almost at the end of every stream, and that's because we just been putting in the work as far as the content. So the views, as far as the views on the channel, man, this month of January has been, I think arguably the best month of all time for this channel. So that just goes to show that we're headed the right direction. Beta says, we're promising Twitch streams again. I've been looking for a reason to use my Twitch. Thursday is the day that we're going to try to make that happen. All right, Beta. Let me know if that day works for you. Corey Sanhagen is the inverse Ben Henderson, but he can't get a decision to save his life. And that's fair, Plugs. That's fair. That it was 2-2, and then you gave the fifth to Sean. It was close. We're gonna have to watch it back. My last request, guys, just because I promise you guys, when you guys write comments in the comment section of videos, it tells YouTube, hey, people are engaging. Let's push it out to more people. We growing in subscribers over 8,300. In 2024, the most views, I got over 7,400 views in the last 48 hours. So it's just been crazy. So my last request, if you want, leave me a comment on that video. It will help the channel out immensely. It'll let YouTube know that we're cooking. #1 commentary channel on YouTube. We'll see when we'll be back. I'm making another video tomorrow, so you'll see that out there. Thank you guys for the ongoing support. Fun show. Eddie, thank you for always coming through. Beta, Big Vince, to all the DC Fight Club members that pay monthly. Thank you guys so much. You guys help keep the channel alive.